Hi everyone, this is going to be a review of the Oracle of Shadows and Light deck by Lucy Cavendish. I'm going to start out by saying that I bought the deck. I didn't know anything of Lucy Cavendish's work, other than I knew that she was a witch and she's written some books on magical working. I bought the deck because I love Jasmine Beckett Griffith's artwork. I have several of her prints in my house, probably more than several. I have a lot of her artwork in my house. In fact, this is one of her prints right behind me. And you can go onto her website, strangeling.com, or her Facebook page, and you can order prints, directly through her little company. I think it's her husband and herself and her brother or something like that. They're so friendly and amazing. I mean, it's incredible ordering things from her, and I just love her artwork. Or you can go onto her Zazzle store, which is, I think it's, just go to Zazzle and look up Jasmine Beckett Griffith and you'll find her. And I buy a lot of prints from her Zazzle store as well. She has some great stuff. So anyhow, sidetracked again. I bought the deck because of her artwork, and I really love her artwork, but I was wondering how it would translate into an oracle deck, because her artwork is a lot like this print that you see behind me, and like this, like it's a fairy and her voodoo doll. And so I was wondering, how can my intuition work with the symbolism in this deck, or how is it going to work? I was interested, I wasn't worried. So when the deck got here, I was really excited, and I actually recorded the reveal of opening the deck and everything, which I will eventually post. This was about 2 months ago, I think. And I was just amazed by the artwork, and it was just incredible. And then I read the book, and the book is amazing, just incredible. So this is the box that the deck comes in. Oh, and let me say that I didn't realize this, but this is actually like a teen focused oracle deck. And you definitely do, you definitely get that when you're reading the deck, the book that accompanies the deck. But it doesn't have to be. You can apply it to your own life. And I've actually found that I don't see that it works any less effectively for me, because it's supposed to be a teenage deck. However, if there are teenagers in your life that are interested in divination, this is a great deck. A very life-affirming and a good way for them to see the balance of shadow and light, hence the name Oracles of Shadow and Light. So it comes in this great box, and if you watch my reveal video, which I will post eventually, you'll see that this is the box that comes in. It's nice and sturdy, and it's the little blurb at the back is wisdom for mystics, misfits, mystics, seekers, and wanderers. And she talks about how this deck will help you to awaken to your own power, which if you use it, it most certainly will. So let me start by showing you, this is the size of the cards. And in my reveal, I show you like a normal tarot deck is probably like this long and this wide. And this is the size of the oracle card. So it's pretty large, and I love the steampunk lock pictured here on the back of the card, which is beautiful. But again, if you use reversals, you will be able to tell when it's reversed from the back. She doesn't use reversals in this deck also, but it's good to know if you do use reversals, you will be able to tell when something's reversed. So the cards are a bit larger. As I said in my review for the Dragon Fae Oracle deck, I don't mind that. I actually like it when I'm using an oracle deck, but for a lot of people, this is too bulky and too big. And I actually have had some clients complain about that when I have them shuffle. So it is good to be aware of that it is a larger deck. So the artwork itself is incredible. Let me just show you some. This is Voodoo in Blue, and I have this print in my sacred space. I love this photo or painting. I actually don't dislike any cards in this deck. I think this is the only deck where I don't dislike any of the cards, or I mean any of the artwork on the cards. This is the Sewer Mermaid. This is probably my favorite card in the deck right now. It's Fairy of the Highlands. It's time to be brave. She shows up a lot for me. And she has a beautiful message as well. Dried Flower Fairy. Faceless Ghosts and the Haunted Girl. And as you can see, under the title of the card is a little phrase that helps you to know what the message of the card is as you're doing a reading for yourself or someone else. And it's helpful. It's a great jumping off point for your intuition. But I found for myself that there actually is quite a bit of symbolism, even in the so-called simplicity of these paintings. This is Shallow Grave. You miss someone. Beautiful, beautiful. And I mean, you can tell that with the monarch butterflies here. You can feel the energy of the card as well very easily. Mend a Broken Heart Fairy, Healing from Heartache. Witch at the End of the World. This is the last card in the deck. It's a 45 card deck. An important end and a new beginning. Violet Duchess, Stifled, Bored, and Stuck. I have so many favorites, I'm going to have to stop myself for a second. Grumpy Red Fairy, Be Your True Self. Sea Storm, Calm Amid Chaos. So you can see that you get fairies, witches, mermaids, the whole spectrum of magical beings you can experience in this deck. Winged Seer, I love this. Love, love, love that one. Strangely Lonely, Holding On Way Too Tight. Let's see. Violet Angel, Breaking Dawn. Let's see. I Am Kali from Death Comes Rebirth, number 13. I love the fact that there's a death card in here and that it is number 13, as it should be. I mean, I do feel really strongly. 13 is actually a very important magical number in my life. And I don't know, it's interesting. I've been thinking about the death card because I just received Doreen Virtue's tarot deck, her new tarot deck, as a gift from a dear friend. And she doesn't use the word death in the deck because she feels like it's not positive enough. And I found that very interesting because I think that this is an important card that should be represented in any deck because there is always a death that leads to rebirth, even if it's not a physical death. And most times it isn't a physical death. And yet at the same time, we all do die to this existence. So I think the death card is important. So I was really happy that we have I Am Kali from Death Comes Rebirth as number 13. Let's see, I'll show one more. Fairy of the Divine Hand, Intoxication, Distorted View, Overindulgence. And Ghost of the Pumpkin Patch is number 1, and I Count Your Blessings. I just love her. She's so beautiful. So the deck is gorgeous. And I found for myself that using it through readings, it's been very effective. Very, very effective. Very honest. It doesn't cover anything up for me. Like for instance, I have literally been drawing. Now I need to find the card. Every time I sit down and do a spread, I draw Death and the Maiden. I'm looking for her now. Of course, now I can't find her. Invasion, Boundaries Violated, and Dominance. And I know what she's telling me, and it's maybe something that I don't want to look at. So she keeps showing up. She isn't disappearing on me. She's telling me that the message is real and it's true and that I should be listening to it and it's time to deal with it. So it's very spot on. And I found the same thing with the Oracle of the Dragonfey as well. Now the book is also amazing, just like in the Oracle of the Dragonfey. Lucy Cavendish is an amazing author, and you can tell that she really does work with these energies and that she really loves them by the care that she gives. So the book is 160 pages. And again, the intro is amazing. The intro is 39 pages long. And she doesn't just cover spreads, etc., like most Oracle books do. She actually goes into working with the energies and how important they are and how important the the honoring of the shadow is as well as the light. Now, again, this is set up for teens, so it does talk about some teen concerns that for adults, maybe it's not the same for us, but I think we can certainly apply it to different areas of our life, no different than when you're in school and whatnot. So then she goes into the card meanings. And so I'll show you. There's a representation of the card. Again, it's very small. For some people, that would be too small. I've talked about this before in my reviews. It's not for me because I read the book with my deck, so I don't need to use representation, but it might be for you. It's good to know. Then she has the title and the phrase, and then she goes into, just very similar to the Oracle of the Dragon Fae book, she talks about the Fae that you're working with, which in this case is the Ghost of the Pumpkin Patch. So about the Ghost of the Pumpkin Patch. The Ghost of the Pumpkin Patch speaks, and then there is the divination message. So it's really very helpful, especially as you're getting to know the meanings in the deck. I really, really love the way that she has these set up, and I think it's very, very clear and helpful as you're getting to know the deck. And I'd really recommend with this deck, especially if you're starting with Oracle decks and tarot in general, that you read the meanings before you really, really start working with the deck. Obviously, when you first get the deck, you're gonna, you want to fool around with it and get to know it, and that's good. But before you really get in depth, I would recommend reading the book so that you can use that as a jumping off point for your intuition with the cards. So I'll just show you, this is the size of my Tarot of the Vampires deck compared to the size of this Oracle deck. So you can see that it's a good deal larger, which again, I like. But it's something to consider if you are a reader with smaller hands, or if you're going to be shuffling a lot and you're not comfortable with the larger size deck. So it is a teen deck, but it's an amazing deck, and I think that adults can use it just as well and have just as much revelation from it as you can when you're younger. And it's nice to bring whimsy into your life, and the artwork and the author of the deck allow for that as well as more serious things. So I highly recommend this deck, and I would also love to hear what you guys think of it if you have this deck. So let me know, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.